Hello everyone. So in this video, I thought I'll probably share how I make videos, how I make YouTube videos very quickly. And the reason I'm making this video, by the way, in this video, I'm not really going to show you any script or I'm not really going to talk about any tool that I use. So the purpose or the reason of making this video is to share my video making workflow. Of course, I do a lot of things on computer, not just make videos, but instead of making a one big video talking about all the tools that I use, I thought I'll probably talk about how I make videos, especially videos for YouTube. And I have been making these videos for a while now. In fact, I started making videos 10 years ago, and those videos I'll probably not share the link of that videos because those videos are really embarrassing. But over the years, I have really improved uh, the workflow, the tools that I use or the process that I follow to not only record the videos but also to publish them and also share them. Now, it was only I think 4 years ago when I started publishing these videos and making these videos a bit more seriously. And I think in the past couple of years, I think I have been making videos every day. I mean, I don't usually make videos every day, but if you are looking at my videos on my channel, they are scheduled to be published every day. So if I try to get a list of all the videos, which I do sometimes, I do have a script, but if I get a list, I'm sure it will be one video, at least one video per day. So my average is more than 365 for a year. And of course, I'm not really saying that you should make a video every day, and I'm not really saying that make a video just for the sake of it. But when I say I make a video regularly, I'm talking about so I have a couple of channels, but mainly I'm focused on my channel called Ravi Sagar. Not this one. This is of course Blackberry Boy. Here I have been making videos on and off. I mean, I think usually it depends on my mood, but usually every week I make a couple of videos on this channel. But on my other channel, my Ravi Sagar channel, where I talk about Jira and where I talk about Atlassian tools, I have been making videos every day. Now, first of all, I want to talk about why I make videos. Now, you must be wondering. I mean, there has. I mean, if I make a video every day, then I'm sure you must be wondering that there is something driving you. There has to be a reason. Now, the number one reason I make videos every day or regularly is basically to keep myself motivated to learn new things. Now, when I make a video, let us say if I'm making a video on doing something with a shell script or doing something with Jira, it could be anything. Like just now, I made a video on how to get the list of issue types in Jira using a simple curl command and dump it to a CSV. So when I make a video, I of course show you things that I also either want to learn or have just learned, or maybe I forgot about them and I wanted to just refresh my memory. So making a video gives me this reason to learn something every day, or at least on a regular basis. And when you learn something, it has to be for a reason. I mean, I don't really want to learn shell script if I'm not really using it for solving my problems. I'm not really going to customize my desktop so without any reason. I do these things because I want to work efficiently, and I want to make sure that when I'm doing something, I'm making less errors, and I'm basically I'm trying to get the most out of a computer which I have customized the way I want to use it. And that is a good thing about working on Linux. You can do whatever you want. The third point is, of course, when I make a video, I also share it, and I like it. I mean, it feels good. It is sometimes it is a bit of showing off. Like see what I've done. Like this is something great that I've built. It is definitely showing off in majority of cases, but it feels good just to share whatever you want to share. Like I receive a lot of comments. I think 99%. No, I don't think 99%, but I should say all the comments on my channel, they are positive. People uh, thank me, and I definitely feel good about those comments, because it is a nice feeling when you help someone. Although my intention is to, of course, I mean, I make videos. Number one, my number one reason is that I make videos for myself, because I'm learning something, and definitely if people are able to uh, learn something from my videos, or maybe I have solved their problems, or they have got some maybe ideas to do something better at their job with the help of my scripts or whatever I'm sharing. It could be a blog post, and when they say thank you, I think it is really great, and I really appreciate your comments. So that is also one more reason. And finally, to be honest, I don't really do things without a reason. I i mean i, I don't really make videos for a living. I don't really write blog posts without any reason. When we do these things online, like, I'm just talking about myself, but I think it is also applicable for a lot of other people. Like, for example, I have been blogging for many years. I think I started blogging in early 2000s. I mean, as soon as I got access to internet, I have been no, I started working on, I started using internet in late 90s, but it was only in early 2000s when I got myself a domain and I started blogging. And of course, earlier it was nothing but a simple HTML blog, and then I moved to, of course, Drupal, and and when I started sharing things online, people notice it. Because people search for doing those things. Some of my old blog posts, like, I think I talked about, I think I wrote one blog post about recompiling a kernel, and I think doing some changes in the code to make, I believe, a Wi-Fi adapter, a Wi-Fi card work on your laptop. I think I wrote that blog. I think, I don't know, maybe in mm, I think it was in sometime in 2007 or 8 maybe. But that blog has got thousands of views because people are also looking for it. So it is not just about those random things, like how to fix this or how to fix that, but it is also about your profile. I receive a lot of inquiries from, not just, I mean, I used to receive, like, when I was running my own company in Delhi, I used to receive a lot of inquiries, or I should say most of my leads. I used to get them only from organic search, because people used to search for Drupal developer, or Jira consultant, or Jira help with Jira, because I think, the only one back then, based on, of course, my knowledge. I think it was, I think, in somewhere around 2011 12, when or I should say, yeah, around that time, when I started receiving a lot of inquiries about, we want to use a tool like Jira. It is a new tool, and we are not really sure how to use it. And people used to find me because they used to search online. So, in short, I want to say that if you do things online, it will build your profile. And maybe if you're making a lot of money from just doing YouTube videos, and great, amazing. But in most of the cases, I think people use these things. People use YouTube channel, or maybe their blog, as a medium to redirect maybe potential clients or audience to something else. Maybe they want to sell something. Maybe they want to sell their book, or I have my books, by the way. I mean, I'm not really going to uh, tell you that I'm doing all these things uh, for charity. I mean, of course, my content is free. Everything that you see online, like my videos and my blog posts, I'm not really asking anyone to pay me to watch my video, but it is actually building my profile, and indirectly or directly, I do direct people to maybe my books. I mean, if you look at my YouTube videos, I have a description. And when you do these things online on different platforms, like maybe you have a blog post, or maybe you have a blog, not just a blog post, or it could be a simple HTML site. I do have a simple HTML site which I manage uh, using nothing but HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I do have one more simple site which I manage using nothing but Emacs and org mode. I do have one more site where I post things but that site is managed using Grav, which is like a flat file system, CMS. I also have a couple of other blogs that I manage using uh, nothing but, yeah, I think that is it. I think I do have like few other which I don't really massively maintain anymore. But my main site, which is on Drupal, ravisagar.in, is of course a place where I manage, which is like the main primary place where I share things. But I do have like few other sites. So apart from just making videos, I do share content online on these blogs, and it helps. It helps in building a profile because people search online, and when they search online, they click on those links, and people might search for solving their own problems, but in most cases they also want to reach out to you, and they are willing to pay you because they have found you online. So if you do these things, it will help you directly or indirectly, job wise or career wise. Now that was the why I make videos. Now talking about my workflow, my video making workflow, and I'll of course talk about this very quickly. And the reason I want to do it is because I think it is important, because you may want to make a video, you may want to start your YouTube channel, and you're not really sure what is the best way to do it. Maybe you're worried about editing your videos. Maybe you're worried about whether you will be able to spend time on it or not. But I thought I'll probably talk about it because I think I have found, and I have this workflow that really works for me. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is how to record a video. Now, you can use different tools. OBS is definitely the most popular tool, but I stopped using OBS. I use now FFmpeg for recording my desktop, my external mic, and the desktop audio in some cases. For example, if I want to maybe increase the volume of my computer, you will hear this song playing, this lo-fi song playing in the background. But I do that sometimes because I think it is good. I like it, to be honest. It feels good to share to end the video with a nice soothing song playing in the background. Of course, it is all copyright free, but you can do that easily with FFmpeg. And I do have a script that I run where all the inputs from different devices are mixed together, and we have a video. And then I also use a shell script to show my webcam. Like this webcam right now is nothing but a shell script that will display this webcam, and I can do zoom in, I can do zoom out if I need to. It is amazing. And I found this script online, which I also thanked that that person who wrote this script. It is a simple script, by the way, nothing complicated. But when you are looking at these things, when you see other people doing these things, you get ideas, and you may want to improve your workflow based on their idea. And earlier I was using FFmpeg to also display my webcam, but now with the help of this shell script, I'm basically using MPV to play the video feed coming from the webcam, which I can of course move around. Now, when I make a video, when I'm finished making a video, I use MPV or FFplay to preview I just play it very quickly. I go through the video, and I don't really edit any video. That is it. That is the end of my video making process. Once I record the video, I straight away upload it. But before uploading it, I also create a thumbnail. Now, to create a thumbnail, first of all, sometimes or mostly I do have like a screenshot of things that I want to show. So I do have a tool that I use called Ksnip to take a screenshot. Now, when I do have a script which I'll talk about in a minute, like a script to generate the thumbnail. But I use a couple of images in my thumbnail. Like one is of course the main thing that I want to show. Like right now, if I want, I can maybe generate a thumbnail of this. Let me do it. So this is the screenshot that I just took using nothing but Ksnip, and I can annotate if I need to, but this is one part. Now, along with the main screenshot, I do have a background image for each and every type of video. Like if I'm making a video on shell script, or if I'm making a video on Jira REST API, I use a base image, and that base image is created using Inkspace. Inkspace is amazing. you would use Inkspace to create a vector. I mean, anything to do with vector graphics. In case you don't know vector graphics, I mean, in short, you can zoom into those vector graphics that you make, and the image will not pixelate. And vector graphics is a standard for printing, because when you want to, let us say, print a logo or maybe create a poster, you don't really want to you don't really want your image to pixelate when you print out a big poster. There was a time in my career when I used to do graphic designing, not as the main thing, but I used to make a lot of I used to make websites, and for clients sometimes they used to ask me, okay, can you also make a video for us, and can you also make a poster? And I did couple of really good, not couple of them, but I think few of really good graphic designing assignments. It was not just designing logo, but it was also designing posters. And I used to go to printers to get them printed, like big posters, and I used to give it to my client, and they used to, of course, use those graphics, physical printed graphics, in their offices, and it was amazing. It was amazing experience. I quite enjoy doing graphic designing. I mean, nothing too complicated, but designing posters and logos. But it is interesting. I mean, it is interesting to create something that people can see, and when you see a banner somewhere on the road, and you know that you made that banner, it is an awesome feeling. It is probably much better feeling than creating a shell script, or maybe doing something on Jira or Drupal or Linux. It feels good. I think being creative and creating something that people can start using for their business is awesome feeling. So I used to design those things in Corel Draw, which I'm sure you probably know about. But especially in Delhi, Corel, if you go to a printer, they used to they won't accept the SVG file. They needed that CDR file, the Corel Draw file. So I used Inkspace a lot, but for anything professional, I used to use Corel Draw, but not anymore. I'm not really doing graphic designing anymore, especially the printing part. So I can probably get away with Inkspace because it is free, and it is quite good. So I use those. I create those base images using Inkspace. Now, talking about how I generate thumbnail, I of course talked about this. I made a video on this, but I use nothing but a shell script, and that shell script is actually using FFmpeg in the background, and it will basically combine everything together. And I have the base image, and I take the screenshot, and maybe I add some text on it, and that is it. Now, when I generate a screenshot, a thumbnail, I use colors sometimes, because for each and every screenshot, the colors that I use as a background for my text can be different, and I don't really remember all the hexadecimal colors, and I use this D menu for remembering the colors. It is nothing but a shell script along with a simple D menu. I have this D menu, which is basically looking at. So it is of course calling the shell script, and the shell script is basically picking up the values from the colors list, a file where I keep a list of all the colors, and when I press enter, it will basically copy the color for me, and of course I can then straight away use it anywhere where I want. Now, talking about uploading it to YouTube, this is something that I do manually. I don't really have any tool right now, and all the videos that are uploaded to YouTube, they are automatically synced whenever they are published. So this is of course my video making workflow and the tools I use. But there are a few things that I do post publishing, like whenever the video is published, I do have I post that video on my website ravisagar.in. So if you go to my website ravisagar.in, you will find all the videos, and they are usually organized in a course, or they have a place to go. And I do that because on YouTube it is impossible to. I mean, you can find a video. It is easy to find a video, but it is even if you're on even if you're on a video, you're watching a video and you know that this video is good. The person who is making this video is doing great work. But that person, he or she may have like hundreds of other videos, but the people will still ask you that question, like, can you also tell me how to do this or that? They can of course they have to rely on the search. There's no browse feature on YouTube. I mean, there is. I mean, you can of course go to the playlist, but it is, again, you have to like scroll. It is difficult to find. and that is what I do on my website. I try to like organize things in a nice course, and I do have these courses because I want people to watch my one video and move on to a different one. And it is an effort. I know it is an effort, but when my videos are published, I I do make sure that I also post them on the website, and I of course do this manually. Now talking about is like sharing online, the only place where I share videos automatically is LinkedIn. So I have a checkbox on my website, my Drupal website, and I do these things using Indie Web Drupal module. I think I made a lot of videos last year talking about how to configure this module. Like when I post the video on the Drupal website, I simply just do a check, and you can also do it for other platforms. Like there are other ways to share things to maybe LinkedIn or Facebook, and this is the point where I stop. I also have few things configured on my website where I, based on the tag that I use, like whenever I post a video on the website, I use like some tags, and based on some tags, I can then automatically, because on Drupal website you can also have like a feed, RSS feed, and whenever there's a new item in the RSS feed, I can also trigger my Zapier rules to do something like maybe post the video or the blog post link to LinkedIn or Twitter. I don't really do that using Zapier, but it can be Twitter, it can be Facebook page, which I do selectively, and I can also send a newsletter if I have to. Now, of course, things are not perfect. I would like eventually that whenever I record a video, I run a script and it will also upload the video on YouTube, and it will also schedule them. And whenever a new video or anything which is published on, let us say whenever a new video is published on YouTube, I may want to also publish them or go to my website or do something that my website will pick up those newly published videos and also create a post and organize those videos in a nice course. Maybe I already have a course, so maybe basically the post publishing part is something that I do right now manually. At least the video uploading and scheduling it and organizing it. Of course, there are few things like publishing to syndicating it to Twitter and other social networking platforms. That happens automatically, but I have to do this manually right now, which is not a massive problem. I'm saying it is an excuse that I try to give myself, but I would like to automate this, and whenever I get time, I'll probably write a script. I know it is possible. I know that there are Python libraries that can help you to automatically publish videos to YouTube. And of course, when it comes to Drupal is again, you have REST API, but it is something that I have not really done yet. I might do it. And the idea is that I start recording. I press a few keys on my keyboard. I start recording, and I press maybe a couple of other keys because I have these shell scripts bound to a shortcut on my keyboard. And I want to do these things automatically whenever I can, because if I'm doing something manually and I know it can be automated, there is no reason why I should be doing it manually. I think I would like to automate them. And that is it. I hope I have given you some ideas about the workflow and the process, and in case you want to do something, you may want to get some ideas from here, and let me know if you have any feedback or any suggestions for me based on whatever I've just talked about. I know it has been slightly long video now, but I'm just talking to you. I'm just talking to you like a friend, trying to share my ideas. And that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.